the Money is made possible by financial support from Old National Bank and Chicagoans like you. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to In the Money. I'm your host, Sienna. Today, I'm hosting on my mom's behalf to talk about what teenagers know about money, since I am a teenager and understand these things. My mom has been teaching me about money for as long as I can remember. To hear her tell it, she has been giving me money lessons since I was 3 years old. So now it's my turn to make sure kids my age know about money too, and what worked and didn't work in these money lessons. As you grow up, you learn a lot about money, and I've learned that from my own personal experience, such as sometimes you want things more than you need them, like games or online avatars. That happens to me a lot, but as an adult or parent, you might want to understand what's going on in our teenage brains, like why are we paying real dollars for online clothing that only our avatar can wear? Why do we feel like we have to have this stuff? Today in the living room, we have a couple of my friends who are going to share how their brain works when it comes to money and some financial tips for people my age. This episode is dedicated to the parents who want to understand their teen better and to teens everywhere. Come and join me in the living room. Today in the living room, we have a guest who will share her personal experience about money and online games. Me and Kylie both play some of the same games, and we both spend virtual money on these games. We also take the time and effort to make ourselves feel safe on these platforms. So, to help adults understand their teen better, I will talk with Kylie on the topic of why she feels the need to spend this virtual money and what precautions she takes to stay safe online. Welcome to the show, Kylie.
Thank you for welcoming me. I feel the need to spend money on virtual things in games and on websites because I can feel pressured if I don't have that same experience as other people have because they're older than me and they can function by themselves.
Yeah, like how when you first start that game, they have the basic avatar, and you don't want to feel like you've been playing this game for years and you just have the same basic avatar.
Yeah. Also because you can feel peer pressured into buying those things.
Yeah, like seeing, you make friends and then you see that they have avatars that they spend money on, but you just have the basic avatar and you want to make sure that, or you just feel the need to have a different avatar instead of that basic one that you've had for years.
Yes. Also because at this age, at my age, teenagers can have credit cards and sources of money. And if we don't get to spend that money, we can feel trapped.
Well, what precautions do you take to stay safe online?
Sometimes I ask my friends if they know the website that I'm going on. Sometimes I go to see, because in the corner there's a thing where to see if it's a safe website or not. And just because it's popular online does not mean that it's safe.
Yeah, you do research first and make sure with everyone else that's okay.
Yeah, and especially my personal friends, because if they use it, I feel like then it's safe because they're using it and I know them.
Yeah, and they'd probably know if it wasn't safe.
Yeah.
When you buy things, when you spend money on virtual games, do you make sure that you don't save the information that you put in?
Yes, I usually get gift cards for the game, or I usually ask a parent first and ask them if it's okay if I buy in-game currency or in-game game passes.
Do you think that, have you ever acted on impulse exactly?
I usually buy during the holidays because that's when I usually get, gift cards and things like that, because I get them for, Christmas, my birthday, that kind of thing.
And for these games you play, you've been playing them for a while, right?
Yes.
So you feel absolutely sure that they're safe?
Yes. I'm pretty sure that they're safe, also because there are multiple people around the world on that website.
Yeah. And there's also multiple people who buy, virtual money, avatars, games from the same companies and stuff.
Yeah, also because YouTubers, they play the games too. And they have game passes, they can be sponsoring the game passes. And that's another thing I feel like that makes sure that it's safe.
Yeah, because they're really big YouTubers, and if the site weren't safe, then that site would probably be like, a bunch of people would be like, oh, don't use this site because this YouTuber used it and then this happened.
Yeah.
So, Kylie, with the online chat functions, how do you make sure you're safe since there's tons of people on these online games?
To make sure that I'm safe, I use like nicknames for my username, and I don't spread my personal information, like my phone number, my email address, where I live, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And also, if somebody in the chat is making me uncomfortable, I'll ask them to stop 3 times, and then I'll just leave the game.
Would you block them if you could, too?
Block them? If it's only a big issue, like they're stalking me or something, no. Because there are millions of people on this game, and it's like a 1 in a million chance for them to join my same game.
Yeah. And, like, if you did happen to see them again, would that be the moment that you block them? If they did the same thing that they were doing that other game?
Yes, possibly.
And with these online chat functions, how do you feel comfortable talking to somebody?
I've been playing on these games for like a long time, and the first time I played it, I wasn't really uncomfortable with talking to anonymous people because I feel safe on that website because it's like verified everywhere, and there are big YouTubers sponsoring it, and they have like a channel where they talk about their game is about and updates.
Yeah. And do you feel safe with the game's communities? Like, if the game has a toxic-ish community, you won't play it anymore?
If the game has a toxic community, I'll just turn my messages off because that's doable. And then I'll just continue to play the game. And if they're like targeting me in any game, I'll just leave the game as a whole and then report it to the developers.
If someone was peer pressuring you in a game, what would you do?
I'd ask them to stop 3 times, and then if they don't stop, I'll like try to ask people, hey, do you know this person? Can you please tell them to stop? And if that doesn't work, I'll just leave and then find something else to do.
And again, why do you feel the need to like buy virtual clothes that you cannot wear, only your avatar in a game can?
Mainly because teenagers my age have money, spending money, that they are capable of using on their own on something like a debit card or credit card controlled by their parents. And sometimes the parents cannot see what you are buying.
Because you can't buy some clothes in real life, but you can buy them on a game.
Yes.
And nobody would really know.
Yeah. And also on social media, you can buy game passes for like extra clothing. And I don't know, you might be feeling cute. You might wear an outfit one day and you're like, oh, they have this outfit in game. Maybe I should try to match that outfit and then make that my avatar. So we're like matching.
Yeah. Like how on that one game, our avatars are matching.
Yeah.
Because we're like, oh, we're going to play this game together, so let's match.
Yeah.
And so it's like you want to be like your friends, as you said earlier. Sometimes you don't exactly feel peer pressure. It's your own decision. Like, we didn't have to match, but I decided that I wanted to buy the stuff to match with you guys.
Yeah.
And it was fun playing with you.
It was.
Like, if you did have a friend peer pressuring you into buying something so that you could all match, what would you do?
First, I'd be like, okay, let me ask my parents if it's okay if I can get currency in this game to buy that thing. And if they say no, I'll just tell them. And if they're like, oh, why don't you just buy it? If they're peer pressuring me, I'll just like be like, hey, I'm really uncomfortable with that. Can you please stop? And if they don't, I'll unfriend them.
And how do you balance, like, because sometimes you have the impulse to, like, once you get that in-game currency, you want to spend it like right away. Do you like try to balance how much you spend?
Not really, but if I spend it on one thing and I see another thing, I'll like try to save up for more currency.
Yeah, because you can always buy that thing later.
Yeah,
So why do you love this game you play, Kylie?
because it connects me with my friends, because maybe I can't see them all summer like I wanted to, and maybe they're out of town doing something else with their personal family.
Yeah, like, because some friends might be long distance and you can very much virtually connect with your friends all the time. That's a good idea. And why is it important to you to, like, what do you feel when you buy these online clothes?
I usually feel happy the first time I get them, but then like months later, I'm like going back to my catalog where I bought the stuff, and then I'm like, why did I buy that? What would I gain out of that? And I could have bought this if I saved and didn't buy that at that moment because it was popular at that moment. But now, a month later, it's not so popular, so it feels like.
And how do you like balance spending virtual money and spending in real life money?
I usually ask my parents first, and I just try to ignore like the thoughts in my head telling me, oh, why don't you buy this? Why don't you buy this? And I just feel that if I save enough money and something comes out months later that's really expensive, I feel like I can ask my parents and maybe be able to buy that if I have enough money.
Because you didn't spend all your money on that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for talking with me, Kylie.
Thank you for inviting me.
Hi, I'm Ryan G. I'm the host of Tweeters. This week on Tweeters, we'll be talking about foster care with a special guest, my mom.
You know, there's a lot of different reasons why kids are taken away from their parents.
You can catch my show Friday nights, 7 o'clock on KenTV 19, kentv.org, and the new KenTV Plus app.
Kylie has helped us understand how her mind works when it comes to online gaming. And now, next up is my friend Madison. She will help us understand how her teen brain defines needs and wants. Please welcome to the show, Madison.
I feel like the difference between needs and wants is it like all depends on how I feel at the moment. Like, because most of the things that I have are provided to me by my parents or like family members. So really when it comes to me spending my own money, I will focus on mostly my wants instead of my needs.
Just for example, if you were to need a cup instead of something from some online game, would you get the cup or the online game thing?
I would probably get the cup because it's something that, like say I would need for this event, I would definitely choose the cup instead of an online game. Like I could always purchase the thing later, or like not even just later in the moment, just later period, like next week, next month, things like that.
Yeah. And if you had enough money to buy something bigger for an online game, like more currency for the online game, but you wanted to buy something else that you were going to need later, would you spend like a lesser amount on getting currency for that online game?
I think I would. I don't really spend that much on in-game purchases than I do buying the game itself. So if I know that I will need something for the future, or say I'm going out with my friends and I want spending money, then I will most likely just save my spending money for that day, like going to the mall or going to the beach or just some place that I know I will have to make purchases to enjoy my day.
And how often do you spend money on virtual games?
On virtual games, it definitely depends on the game that I'm playing, on like what thing I'm playing it on. But I would say the most that I have spent would be like $70 on a game.
And would you say that you spend more money on online games than you do in real life?
Yes, I would. But like I said, just because most of my needs are like given to me by my parents or my family members or like the people around me.
Do you usually spend like a lot of money on online games, or would you say that you spend it more on like real life clothes and stuff?
I would say more in real life because I do like to make in-app purchases for items in games, but if I know that I'm going somewhere like to the mall and I want to buy something, I will probably do that. Or even if I just want to like get snacks, because I buy like my own snacks, I would probably just ask to go to the store and then buy that with my own money.
And why do you feel the need to spend money on these online games?
I think it's more of like it's just a way to express myself, like even character customization, because most of the times I cannot wear, or I'm like uncomfortable wearing a lot of things that I wear in game, like in person. So I'm most likely to, like, it feels good to express myself outside of real life, you know, expressing myself in game, wearing the outfits I would want to wear, but I wouldn't wear or couldn't wear in real life.
Like something that you think would not fit you in real life, like an outfit that wouldn't fit what everyone else thinks of you. Is that how you feel?
Yeah, I think it's more of like me wearing like a dress in an online game, and it's just like super heavy, exaggerated. Like just me as a person, I feel like when I would go out places, like say I'm going to school, people would like talk about me or make fun of me, and I feel like it's just more widely accepted to do that in game because everybody does that. Like everybody will wear something super over the top, and it's just like, this is something cute, but would you wear it in real life?
Yeah, like in game you would wear something like a dress, really exaggerated clothing. Only at a party would you wear that exaggerated clothing likely, and at school you wouldn't wear that.
Exactly.
But you can play some type of school game on those online games, and you probably would get judged.
Because it's more widely accepted to do that in game than in real life.
Yeah, and those people don't know you. They're online people and there's tons of people online.
I think that's another thing that makes it feel better, because I know that you most likely do not know me, so you're gonna see me once and be like, oh, I think her outfit's really cute, and then move on with your day. You're not even gonna think about me, like after a couple seconds.
And then you might start talking to that person, and you might become friends with them too, but they won't know you in real life. They won't know how you dress.
We might live in completely different parts of the world, and you only really know my in-game name or a fake name that I give you, or how my voice sounds if we're like on a call.
Yeah, you wouldn't know everything about me. And what is a safety precaution you take to make sure nobody like knows you?
I like to make things up. Like I have a fake name that I will use online. I have a fake, I guess, phone number, because sometimes people will ask for that. I have a fake place that I live, you know, like in a whole different state than the state that I live in.
Yeah.
And I'm really careful to not let anybody say my name, like say I'm on the phone. I don't want anybody going Madison, because, you know.
Yeah.
Now you know.
And if someone's like peer pressuring you to give you information, what would you do?
I would just cut them off.
Yeah.
I feel like there's really no need to say something like, hey, stop that, because as a person, like if you're acting like that, I'm just going to cut you off.
Like you would block them, make sure they have no way to contact you.
Because there's nothing I can really do at that point. So I would just cut them off and continue with my life, and they can continue with their life.
And how do you feel when you buy these online clothes?
I feel good about myself and my avatar, because like I said, it's kind of more of a way to express myself in game. It's like looking at how somebody dresses, in my opinion, is like a big way you can tell how their personality is or like how they act in game or in person.
Yeah. And if you saw someone dressing like their Roblox avatar in real life, like it's a nice avatar, it's not over exaggerated, how would you feel?
I wouldn't really care. I would feel okay with that because it's like now I can see your fashion sense. Like I may be able to like tell a little bit about you, like just by the way you dress or like just as an aesthetic like that you give off or the vibe that you give off, like, you know, or how you interact with other people around you. So,
but if someone's wearing an over exaggerated and kind of like what you were talking about, like over exaggerated dresses and avatars and stuff, if you saw with someone dressing like that, how would you feel?
In real life?
Yeah.
I would be like, I wouldn't really care. I would be okay with it because it kind of makes me happy in a sense, because it's kind of like I want to dress like this, but I know I can't because like widely in, I guess, society as a whole, it's just not as accepted. Like say if I were to go out like wearing some really bright colors like out in public, if you do that, you might get stares because who's gonna go outside wearing like a super over the top dress and like these really big fuzzy boots, you know? It makes me feel confident about myself and feel like I can express myself out of online gaming.
Yeah, like how the most regular colors online, are more exaggerated. In real life, it's like black, white, gray, like toned colors instead of not like hot pink or neons.
Exactly, and like how some games have mechanics where like your clothes can glow. You know, you can wear like ballroom gowns in game and nobody would bat an eye. But say you just were to go outside, like to a store, like a grocery store, wearing a wedding dress, people would look at you funny.
Yeah, because it's not accepted by society.
Exactly.
To wear all out clothes in public most of the time. Mm-hmm. It really depends on the situation, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if you were to be going to a party, but you had to make a stop on the way, do you think that people would stare at you, like, if you're wearing this gownish thing?
It depends on, like, the situation. Like, if it's Halloween and you see somebody, like, outside wearing something over the top, like, a really nice, like, dress, I wouldn't bat an eye, you know, because it's Halloween. Say if I, just like it was a regular day, it was like a Thursday in like March or something, I wouldn't say anything, like I wouldn't feel some type of way. Like I said, I would just I feel more confident about myself because like other people around me are confident.
Well, thank you for being on the show today, Madison.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, I'm Connie Lindsay.
And I'm Anna Valencia.
Join us on Joy in the Breakthrough, a podcast where we'll be talking to a wide range of leaders from different generations and backgrounds who have found power in being broken open.
Tune in every week on CAN TV Channel 19, streaming on cantv.org, and on the new CAN TV Plus app.
Don't you wish you had learned more about money when you were a kid? I know I do. I'm sure most of us have experienced at least one costly, stressful money mistake in our lifetimes. Although many of us had to learn about money lessons at the School of Hard Knocks, we can sometimes make our children's lives a little bit easier. In today's age, our children have even more temptations than we did. From birth, they are inundated with messages from advertisers to buy, buy, buy. A typical kid is exposed to more than 1 million advertisements by the time they reach 21. To counteract the conditioning to spend and give children good money management knowledge, teaching kids and teens personal finance lessons becomes essential. Bottom line, financial habits are formed early. We should begin teaching kids lessons about personal finances when they're young. If they are already older now, that is okay. It's critical that they receive professional level training prior to moving out on their own. By giving them practical lessons in formats to which they can easily relate, you'll establish an educational foundation that supports continued financial education training as they mature. Let's look at an example. Trips to the supermarket. Your regular trip to the supermarket offers an excellent opportunity to open conversation with kids about money, show them how overspending can occur, and turn them into bargain shoppers. This activity helps kids learn key money management skills, including budgeting, living within one's means, prioritizing spending, and price comparison shopping. Create a list of needed items for the family. For young children, leave something off important, like milk, and give hints to the child as to what is needed on the list, leading them to milk. Before going to the supermarket, use advertisements and project how much your family will need to spend in order to get each item on the list. Discuss ways to save money, such as using coupons, deals, or buying store generic brands. Then brainstorm other ways to save money. Next, discuss ways you might overspend, such as impulse buying or choosing gourmet or specialty brands. After the shopping trip, review the receipt. Did your family come in under budget, or at budget, or over budget? And let's talk about why. With multiple children, each child could be responsible for researching one particular item on the list. They can make quality analysis and compare sales ads, if available. If they track prices, they can become great bargain hunters. Kids can go find an item in the store and do their own price comparison. Talking to kids about money doesn't have to be scary. Look at everyday examples that you can discuss with your children, such as utility bills, evaluating commercials, advertisements, and more. For one final tip, before your next meeting with your banker or financial advisor, ask to have your child present for the meeting. An in-person meeting makes the biggest impact on children of all ages. Together, let's empower our youth to make smart financial decisions now and in the future.
Hi, I'm Corey Timms, host of In My Own Words. Tune in on Channel 19 as we hear the personal journeys of some of Chicago's most influential leaders.
During our chat today, we've dug into how teenagers like me use and view money, especially in online gaming and the pressures we face in the digital world. We've uncovered insights and explored ways that money impacts our lives, wants, and needs. From the impact of online gaming on our allowance to how we define what is a want versus a need. As teenagers, we find ourselves in a world where online gaming and experiences hold the great importance. The allure of virtual realms, the need for in-game purchases, and the influence of social media can often lead to a tangled web of financial decisions. The desire to fit in, keep up with trends, and maintain a certain online presence can exert immense pressure on our wallets. However, even with these pressures, we must also recognize the importance of financial literacy and responsible money management. By understanding our value of hard-earned dollars from all the chores we have to do, we can maintain a healthy relationship with money. So, my challenge to you, the teen, is to make sure that you're enjoying your hard-earned allowance fully by using money on other things besides just online games, such as helping the needy or buying something in the real world for yourself. My challenge to you, the parent, is to make sure that your teen is balancing the online versus the real world. I didn't like it when my mom did it, but I know it's for the better. If you have any questions about today's topic or past topics, please send my mom an email at Kimberly at In the Money or follow her Instagram at Diva of Cash Flow. Remember, we are on this journey together.